Listen, I'm easy to find. And then they can kiss my ass.
What's going on, YouTube? Good evening. It's Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all staying safe. This is episode 2, season 9 of Big Nate Sports Talk. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I would like to say up front. If you hadn't already, check out episode 1 of season 9, reviewed the 30 for 30 Dream On with the 96 USA National Women's Basketball Team. Check that out if you hadn't already. Sean Spencer, I see you. Hey, what's going on? I like it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. You done. You did it now. What's up? Thank you. So before I get into the video, this is just previewing the Washington Mystics, recapping the big win on Father's Day against the Connecticut Sun, and it's a late game tonight. The Los Angeles Sparks. We play our first West Coast trip of the season after 16 games. We're on the West Coast against the Los Angeles Sparks, previewing that game. So, going to be curious to see who's going to be up for the media availability for that one. But it should be a good game. But we're going to start a couple of things I want to take into consideration after Sunday. So, before going into this season, going into Connecticut, I had some concerns. One, I was concerned about after that performance we against the Liberty where we just didn't play well. The offense just had a bad night. I mean, I said it before. I said it again. I think we're entitled to have bad nights, and it happens. But I don't think that's not a Mystic team I'm looking for. The Mystics have been very, very inconsistent. I have said that on numerous times. You've got to find the consistency. Now, the fact that you're going up against a Spark team, remember, consistency should be the key. But against Connecticut, I'm like, okay, now we're going up against probably the second best team in the league right now. And, Jonquel Jones, she's having an all-star year. Brianna Jones, who should get some consideration for six man of the year. All-star. Alyssa Thomas, point forward. Courtney Williams. You don't have Jasmine Thomas. And the Connecticut Sun team that scored 105 points before they came to the nation's capital, we beat them 71-63.
Let's go! I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
I'm flabbergasted. I'm shocked. I still don't believe we won. I can't believe that. I had asked Coach T, in the pregame, media availability. I asked him, I said, hey, how do you prepare? Did you have a after the Connecticut game, because after that game, there was a bit of how we go about things. The little things I said, these are all simple fixes, and I believe they're all fixable. So I asked him, I said, after New York, before the Connecticut game Sunday, and I'll play the clip. I said, did you at some point, say, hey, let's have a self-evaluation of the team? And I'll share the answer on that. That was my question. I didn't get a chance to ask a question in the post game because it's a home game. I noticed when they're at home, there's more media and different things like that. Before we get to the recap, I want to congratulate Shamik Holsclaw, Vicky Bullitt, and Muriel Page. They were the first class for the Washington Mystics to go into the Mystics Hall of Fame. What those three women did for our franchise 25 years ago. If you remember, I remember early years, they were called the Washington Mistakes because they just weren't a good team. And if you really think about it, the Wizards, it was so weird. They had gone through a transition period. I remember when we had Jawan Howard and Chris Webber, Mirason and Muggsy Bogues and Ernie Grunfeld. Oh my God, who was the GM? He traded Chris Webber. I'm still pissed to this day. I mean, rest in peace, Ernie Grunfeld. Wes Unseld, not what Ernie Grunfeld. I'm sorry, Wes Unseld Sr. Rest in peace. He was the GM at the time. I still don't. He traded Chris Webber to Sacramento for Mitch Richmond and Order Store. That trade, that still bothers me as a Wizard fan to this day. Shamik Holsclaw, Muriel Page, Vicky Bullitt, those three definitely set the tone. Shamik was our number one overall pick in the 98 draft. 97 draft, I'm sorry. I think it was Muriel or Vicky. They were our first pick because we expanded because the Mystics didn't exist in 96. We didn't come into 97. So it was our 25th seat. This is our 25th year as a franchise, and it was great to see those three be introduced. I was in the Zoom room. I had a question for them, and the Zoom decided we had audio issues. So I was not able to ask three Mystic legends a basketball question.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
I did get the wave at him. I did get the wave at him. But let me play this real quick. This quick question from Coach T from me in the pregame against Connecticut, and then we'll get into the recap. And then we're going to preview the Liberty, the Sparks game, because we're kind of just a little bit behind. So.
No, looks like a hospital. Anybody else?
Are we ready for Zoom? Nathan?
Good afternoon, Coach T. Happy Father's Day, sir.
Thank you.
Couple questions for you. My first question is, I remember, I think it was after the Chicago game, you said the team needed to do a self-evaluation. Like, after the loss against New York, like, did you re-emphasize that again in a way?
I just thought we talked more about, I think after the Chicago one, it was more about the intensity of the grit. I think our conversation was more after the New York game. There are simple things that you can fix that are X and O things. You have to be consistent about that. I compared it to, when you're with a group, you can't let go of the rope if you're all supposed to be hanging on the rope. So I thought there were times in the New York game you need to stay connected at either end of the floor. And it wasn't for lack of wanting to or the grit part of it. It was, just simple mistakes that we tried to correct yesterday at practice. I think you have to maintain an intensity every day. But, it's part of it is just this trust that, if I'm doing my job on defense, somebody's got my back. And that same assignment, helping to help. Same thing on offense. That if I set a good screen and the ball moves, we're gonna reward each other for the right play. That's an ongoing thing. That's not like just every game you have this heartfelt. Every loss shouldn't be this deep down team meeting about what can be fixed. I think that move on. We have bad games. We stunk. We didn't shoot the ball well. Nothing you can do about that. After the game, it's not. Nobody wants to miss shots. So you get in the gym and you shoot and try to get your rhythm back. But that should be an ongoing thing, not this this come to Jesus meeting. Some teams seem to have way too often.
Yes, sir. And my last one for you is, how do you prepare for a front court like Connecticut's?
Do your normal things. I mean, they're going to still be big when we walk out there. We're not going to grow. We do have some bigger lineups that we can match them with a little bit. I mean, our starting lineup against theirs, we're not that different in size in playing them. I think one of the things you have to address with the team is, they bring an exceptional player off the bench, Brianna Jones, who they run a lot of plays for. And, we have to be aware and respectful of how well she's playing right now. Sometimes teams get into saying, okay, they're bringing the bench in. Well, they're bringing a bench player in who is, a starter all last year, and on most teams would be the starter. So I think you have to have a preparation defensively for that kind of offense. And then they're just a really good defensive team. They're physical. You have to make them pay for how they help. You have to have some schemes in mind. I understand you might have to make one more extra pass, one more extra hard dribble to create what you want to get offensively.
I appreciate you, Coach. Thank you. And that is what we did at Father's Day. The score did not reflect what I saw against from the Connecticut Sun. I felt like it was on the defensive side of the ball. I thought that was key. We did our job. And then also, too, think playing in front of legends, I think also, too, had a little bit of a more of a fiery cut. I mean, we came out red hot. We came out aggressive. Deladon had 10 points just in the first quarter in the box score that I saw. It was kind of interesting to really, really see that the Connecticut Sun in the first quarter, everybody was in the negative plus a differential. I mean, your leading scorer just in the first quarter alone was Jonquel Jones, and she was negative 12. She was 2 of 5. They made her take certain shots and made her, take a lot of her shots were contested. We got him off the 3 line. I felt like our pace was a lot better. I've noticed when Elena's out there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. Thank you. I do notice when Deladon's out there on the floor, the pace is like this. It's in harmony. Against the Liberty, and you're going to kind of see how it looks tonight, discombobulated. And I feel like the system, you have to play through Elena. And I kind of want the Mystics just at some point, I need to see a lineup that can win without her. I've seen it, but it needs to be consistent. Like the same team majority, this was just the starting 5 he had out there Sunday. Fun fact, have only played a whopping 35 minutes. Ariel Atkins, Shakira Austin, Deladon, Ariel Atkins, and Natasha Cloud have all played just 35 minutes combined together.
What? What? And you got to be kidding me.
You can blame injuries. You can say, you can say injuries, COVID, and then people were overseas. I mean, that's just a fact. That really makes a difference. Now, I kind of feel like he's definitely experimented. Now, I do kind of feel like he kind of sacrificed offense when I look more at this team for more defense, even though everyone's capable of shooting the ball. I just feel like I question some of the roles. Like Maisha, even though she was sick, she had a non-COVID illness, her and Shakira. But I really kind of like to know where her role is at this point. Because, she only played 6 minutes. Shakira played about 15. She had 5 points. She held her own. There was a point in the game where her and Jonquel Jones kind of were chirping back at each other, which, they were just having a conversation of, what's the best restaurants in D.C. to go to. And they both got a double tech. These referees this season, sensitive. Let these girls play, man. In the NBA, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. But as the game progressed, the Sun offensively just had no answers. Now, I don't know if it was just, again, everyone's entitled to have a bad game. It's okay. But the fact that we kept Courtney Williams and Alyssa Thomas combined to 11 points, and Jonquel Jones was the only one in double figures, that really says a lot about what Connecticut should have did and what they didn't do to make the adjustments in the game.
So when are we going to say something about it? You know what?
I don't have concerns about that going forward with Connecticut. I do believe they'll get together. Again, I think they just had a bad night. Now, I do question why Brianna Jones, when I looked at this box score, why after it was all said and done, all the smoke was cleared, in 27 minutes, only took 5 shots.
Skip. Good Lord. Thank the good Lord I am on FCC Airwaves. I thank the good Lord.
I don't blame her for that. I blame Kurt Miller. I blame coaching because I feel like in a way you have to get her involved more offensively. Now she did better. She did well with the second unit, but to just give her 5 shots, and I would have liked to see more post action. They took away the pick and roll from that so that from Connecticut. That was one thing I saw. I would like to see them post up a little bit. Even give Brianna the opportunity to see her mid-range game a little bit. I like to see outside the post. I feel like they could have really utilized her more. But I just felt like when you take away the pick and roll from Connecticut, I think it kind of shows. It kind of showed. Now, a lot of it also too. Connecticut turned the ball over 16 times compared to our 10, and I mean, several of those turnovers by the time that half the game was over. I thought also too. I noticed the communication was a lot better. As I'm watching the game, I could hear the girls really communicating with each other on the defensive side of the ball, like Alicia Clark, Tasha Cloud, Era Atkins. They all play defense. Natasha, I saw her on practically everybody on the floor. That's the key. It's a defense wins champions. I think Mystics are always a defensive minded team first. I think that shows. Now, the bench for the Mystics was very, very disappointing because we had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then Connecticut brought it down by 8.
What the hell was that? Hey, what the hell? You freaking kidding me?
That was very, very that was frustrating because they went on a 21-10 run, and our bench just had no answers. It kind of just like they just kind of got just dazed, and they just couldn't react fast enough. Our post game was not really the same. Like I said, Shakira and Maisha were dealing with the illness. So, I mean, Maisha Hines Allen and Shakira Austin combined had 7 points. I was surprised that they actually played. I'm one of those. If you're sent home from practice, you shouldn't be playing. That's just me. Actually, they're both in the starting lineup tonight against the Los Angeles Sparks, so they look like they're good. They're good to me. I think this is definitely the toughest part of our schedule. This is where we just got to stick together, and we've just got to just fight it out. This is kind of Coach T said in the postgame. This is a survival mode. Deladon will not be playing tonight because they've again resting her. She's going to go be ready for the Seattle game Thursday, and then we got Las Vegas Saturday. So I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I would like to really see. Again, the plan is all come August and September. They want to utilize her then. But it was a great game. It was a great game Sunday. Like I said, the whole of Connecticut on the first 3 quarters under 40%. We only committed 4 turnovers in that time frame. It was a great game, but consistency is the key, and that's what I'm looking for tonight against the Los Angeles Sparks. We're going against a Sparks team. Fred Williams is the interim head coach. After Derek Fisher was removed, he was fired. The Sparks. I don't know what this. I don't really know what the identity for the Sparks is. I feel like the moves that he made was just to build around Liz Cambage, and it has not worked. I feel like some of the decision making. I feel like Ray Burrell, at this point, who's out with a knee injury, was not a. I don't think she should be on the Sparks. I think she should be on a team like Las Vegas. Because I mean, I really haven't seen much of her. I know they signed Katie Lou Samuelson. Happy for her. Lexi Brown. I know she just broke her record. I think she had 100th career 3-pointer a few weeks ago. We're going to have to be really careful because they are, for some reason, the Sparks' defensive rating is not that great, but they do like to help you. They like to force turnovers. Brittany Sykes, Katie Carter. We're going to have to be really careful how we're communications will be key on the offense side of the ball, whether that's pick and rolls, whether that's just not making crazy behind the back baseball passes, different things like that. That's going to be the key. those things happen. I do think the Mystics will win. I think also, too, it's curious to see how those lineups will look. Again, Tosh Cloud, Ariel Atkins, Alicia Clark, Maisha Hines-Allen, Shakira Austin against Chrissy Tolliver, Brittany Sykes, Liz Cambage, Nneka Ogwumike, and Kaylu Samuelson. They're both big lineups. I'm curious to see how it looks. I definitely think the Mystics can win this game. It's just when you look at the Mystics, it's just a different look. And for me, it's the moments they like to lose against a Liberty team that was 1-7 to start the year off. Like, again, it's being consistent. Now, okay, we beat a team like Connecticut. Can that happen again against not LA? And I believe it can. Like, we had he said it Sunday, when you have a whole lineup, it makes a big difference. I know he only had a full day to prepare, unfortunately. But I think he said preparation time, if you shoot the ball better, different things like that. But he said looking at preparing with film, that line's going to be different. But it's how it looks. I mean, so far, Ariel Atkins, Maisha Hines-Allen, and Shakira Austin are the only three really Mystics have been consistent. Like I said, Della Dawn, Shakira Austin, Ariel Atkins, Alicia Clark, Natasha Cloud, 35 minutes. So if you look, it's been kind of hard to really be consistent with the lineup. Now I think when you got everybody back, that's going to make a difference. Now you're going against a Sparks team that you really should beat tonight. And you got Brianna Jewell in the Seattle Storm. And you've got Asia Wilson Las Vegas Aces Saturday. That's going to be really, really interesting. Like, we got games every other day. So most likely watching film, recuperate, try to get as much rest as possible. And like I said, the same team we beat, they're 13-2, Las Vegas, and Seattle's 10-6. With that being said, I believe the Washington Mystics will beat the Los Angeles Sparks 87-75.
Guaranteed.
I think they can do it. I think the Mystics can do it. This is the beginning of the road test, and this is I really want to see this lineup, how it looks tonight. I did not get to ask him a question because we ran out of time. I'm going to ask him in the post game because I want to see his observations of a Fred Williams, because now Fred Williams is now the interim coach, versus a D-Fish Lakers team that he's seen before. So with that being said, that's going to conclude the video. Before I forget, forget it. Let's do it now. So I don't forget. This also is week 7 rankings for the WNBA season. I'm just going to go down the list really quick. Number 12, Minnesota Lynx. It's just been bad. Okay. Yesterday they played the Las Vegas Aces. Sunday, excuse me. They played Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Aces, excuse me. Great game. It felt like a playoff game. I have a question for Jessica Shepard. No disrespect intended. Can you please explain to me, if you got 3 seconds on the clock and you're down 3, why would you take the ball, post up, shoot a fadeaway, and then look for a foul? Can you please explain that to me? Because that's what happened at the end of regulation versus the Aces. They end down the ball. You got to know the score in that situation. That was just mind-boggling. Okay, and then also too, like, the Lynx, like, they're competitive, but it's been kind of an eyesore to watch them. I mean, they blow a 14-point lead And then that's just disgusting. And they are second to last place. Number 11, the Los Angeles Sparks. Look, they only played one game. They lost. They double-digit loss to the Dallas Wings. They lost 3 games in a row coming in this game. Now they've got Mystics. They got us tonight, Chicago, Seattle, and Las Vegas. And they are the worst defensive rating team in the league. I think it's like 107. And I'm going to say it, the Los Angeles Sparks will not win any of these 4 games.
Guaranteed.
The Sparks is just, I feel so bad for Nneka Ogwumike and Shanae. I feel bad because they should not be, they've suffered enough. Like Derek Fisher, like, man. Number 10, the Indiana Fever. Look, I mean, they beat the Sky they were down 15 points to beat Chicago. Melissa Smith had a career high 26 points, double-double. The Fever, like I said, they're a young, up-and-coming team. You really, really should expect just growth, and we're seeing that with the Fever. Now, the next 4 games for them are on the road, and that should be key. Pay attention to that. Number 9, the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream don't have a point guard still. Erica Wheeler is still out with injury. They got Asia Durr in a trade with New York. Like I said, Erica Wheeler is still out. Tiffany Hayes, who's dealing with a knee injury, has not played yet. The Dream are doing fine. I just think it's just they need a point guard. I think Asia is that person, but it's like the first month of the season, Atlanta kind of have an eyebrow raise because their defense. But it's like I've seen a complete 180. Like they're doing that. They're scoring the ball well, but they're not stopping them on the defensive side of the ball. They've lost 4 straight, and now they're 500 for the first time in the season. Like, I do think there's a change. I think there'll be a turnaround for them, but I just also want to point that out. Number 8, the New York Liberty, a team that beat us. I'm not letting that go. They beat Seattle, but lost us. They beat us, but lost to Seattle, so they split the game. Natasha Howard against us had 27 points. I don't want to bring that game up. They show that they have the talent. I think getting Maureen Johannes, I thought was big for them because it seems like the lineups that they have out there, to me, they just got to stay consistent. Again, like adding her as a different element brings a different element to the Spark, to the Liberty without a shadow of a doubt. Natasha Howard's proven she's an all-star. But I've also seen that they've gotten better at not turning the ball over. Ironically, I kid you not, if the playoffs started today, they would actually make it. Number 7, the Phoenix Mercury. I'm still kind of – it's hard to get a read on them a little bit. I don't know what to really feel. They've won the last 3 games. They lost to us and Dallas. Again, I just think they're just top-heavy, and they play no defense. That's a fact. I hate to say that. Your stars have to have a good game. I don't think you can afford to have bad games if you are Tina Charles, Diana Taurasi, or Scott Diggins-Smith. Like I think you have to play great. Like those 2 losses, Diana Taurasi had 9 points. Like that's not going to happen. Like ironically, this is an interesting stat. The Mercury, I believe I saw it somewhere. They're 0-8 when she scores 15 points or less. But 15 or more points are 6-2. It's an interesting stat. I'm still not really feeling Phoenix. Number 6, those Dallas Wings. Now, Tierra McCown I'm actually proud of her. She's actually starting to find her way on the wings. I would really appreciate it, though, if Vicky Johns would actually utilize her bigs more. I would really appreciate that. Now, they won 5. Now, it's interesting. They played 5 games, stretch of 5 games where they lost to Seattle and Vegas, 1-4. That was actually a tough part of their schedule, I believe. They beat Phoenix and they beat the Sparks. Like I said, I think it's a place with Alicia Gray, Marina Mabry, Enrique Gubuale. I think Alicia Gray, in my opinion, she will make her first All-Star this year, All-Star appearance.
Guaranteed.
The Wings are doing just fine. I just think that they just got to stay the course. Like they've got a lot of potential. You know, I think it's now just putting it all together. Number 5, Seattle Storm. I mean, watching them lose to Connecticut was very, very interesting. And then watching them beat New York was interesting. I like the fact that, I mean, congratulations to Sue Bird. I wish her all her future endeavors. This is her last season. So, I mean, her last game, it was in New York, so she got a little standing ovation. The Seattle Storm this year, I don't know how they've done it, but they are now 9-3 because they went 1-3. They were mired with COVID, and it was crazy. I mean, they've really struggled with COVID. But I'm also noticing that in the half court, at times I've seen it, even watching them some games on the League Pass. Their half court offense needs some work. They do. And I'm kind of curious to see how Coach T, when we see them, I'm curious to see how he does that. Number 4, the Chicago Sky. Now, I was stuck between putting Washington here and Chicago at 3. Now, Candace Parker didn't play because she dealt with a knee injury, and she should be back. But the fact that you needed overtime to beat the Atlanta Dream.
Oh my God.
And then you blew a 15-point lead to the Fever. And it was funny. They missed 4 go-ahead layups. I kid you not. Sequence of event. And 4 layups in 14 seconds.
What was that? What the hell was that? I'm sorry the H words and the D words aren't appropriate over the airwaves, but it's going to be today. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Wow. And on top of that, I last time I saw the score, they're playing the Aces. It was like 20-4 Aces. And Vandersloot and Candace Parker had their 4 points in the first quarter. That's really interesting. Number 3, Washington Mystics. After that atrocious loss to New York Liberty, and a big win against Connecticut, Washington Mystics have been up and down. It was a better game against Connecticut, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. But it's also shown that we need the dependency on Elena Deladon is a little too much, and we got to start learning how to play without her. I would have liked to see that the first time against Phoenix and against New York. But fair is fair. Again, it's, she's an MVP caliber player, and like, it's interesting. We're 8-3 with her, and we're 3-4 when she's not playing. I can't believe that. But I mean, she's arguably one of the best offensive players in the game. And any team without Elena Deladon, the identity is just not there. Number 2, the Connecticut Sun. This team, I feel so bad for them. Like, they can't. I just cannot get them at number 1. After watching their offense was really an APB out for their offense Sunday. They did beat Atlanta and they did beat Connecticut. It's just Las Vegas is just that damn good. I mean, we just gotta give them their flowers. These are both damn good teams. Like I said, these are 2 teams I had won in the finals without a shadow of a doubt. I feel like watching them Sunday, they just looked out of gas and they were out of sync. It happens. You're going to have a bad game, plain and simple. I think they'll pick it up. They got New York tomorrow, and they got Atlanta Sunday. Wins. Wins for the Connecticut Storm. Easy.
Guaranteed.
And then that team in Las Vegas, number one, the Las Vegas Aces. Asia Wilson's MVP. He's going to be the All-Star. The Las Vegas Aces are going to the NBA championship, the WNBA championship. That's all you need to know. No, I'm just kidding. Look, I mean, these wins have been interesting, but the fact that they had to pull back the couple games, even Sunday, they were down double digits, and against the Lynx and against the Wings. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're winning games. And congratulations also to the Aces and the Chicago Sky. They're going to the Commissioner's Cup. The Las Vegas Aces are winning the Commissioner's Cup, just for the record.
Guaranteed.
Now, I do think the Commissioner's Cup's on the 26th of next month. So, yeah, they're 8-0 in the Cup games. That's just fantastic. But, yeah, that's it. I also wanted to point to that, again, congratulations to Sue Bird, her retirement, and also to Sylvia Fowles. I just had an issue with the optics in the media. The fact that Sue Bird got a little bit more media recognition and Sylvia Fowles didn't. That's more of a responsibility that we have on our part. I think why, like, to see ESPN, like, I saw a segment of her on First. I said, when has First Take ever done any? Well, I mean, they've done some stuff with WNBA, but I'm like, they actually took a segment for Sue Bird. I said, I don't see that for Sylvia Fowles. Look at their accolades. Look at their records. It's just something about how the W and how the media has always pushed stars and not given their stars flowers. I've seen it, with the Alicia Norton-Jones, Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Simone Augustus. She got her jersey retirement, and they had the shirts, but I didn't see the same media recognition. It's about the optics. Look, it's not directed at Sue. It's just how the media pushes the narrative and controls and pushes what they want to push. I just kind of found it interesting that it's the optics. Pay attention to that. Like, the fact that Sylvia Fowles, MVP, champion, Olympian, All-Star, doesn't get any media recognition. Sue Bird is on First Take. Other realms of media, it's talked about. It's the optics. So, with that being said, that's going to end the episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me hear your thoughts. But until then, I will catch you guys on the flip side.
Because, it is what it is. It's so great to be great.
Listen, I'm easy to find.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.
And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.